Hi guys, it's Jeannie here. I want to go into this quick video just to read this book to you. This one doesn't have another chapter. At least I don't see that it has another chapter. So it just keeps going. It's a stage one, getting to know you. So that's what we're going to go ahead and read today. So let's go ahead and get started. Hopefully you guys are enjoying these videos, because I'm uploading a ton of them because I feel like I just need to read so much. And I'm learning a lot, so hopefully you guys are too. And so, okay, let's go ahead and start getting to know you. It says, myth: it was love at first sight. Fact: spells it lust. Sometimes it lasts. Too often it doesn't. The smartest woman knows, no matter how powerful the attraction, no matter how unique the chemistry, and no matter how promising the potential, getting to know another human being is a process that can't be rushed. The smartest woman knows finding and maintaining long-term love requires big-time work. Every year, dozens of new books are published about relationship issues. Every month, dozens of women's magazines devote page after page to these same questions. At 31, Dawn feels as though she has read most of those books and magazines, and whenever Oprah has a show that seems particularly interesting, Dawn's mother tapes it and sends it to her by mail. The fact is that Dawn is embarrassed to admit how much time she has already spent trying to figure out how to get one specific man, or man in general, to like her. But so far, paying all the attention to how she looks, what she says, or how she acts hasn't gotten her what she wants. That's not to say men don't find Dawn attractive and appealing. They do, but she's had too many first dates that didn't turn into second dates, too many second dates that didn't turn into third dates, too many third dates that didn't turn into relationships, and too many relationships that unraveled all too soon. Dawn desperately wants a satisfying, fulfilling, long-term relationship. She wants children and she wants to be a part of a family. But in order to do that, she needs a mate. And since her sexual orientation is heterosexual, this means she is going to have to relate to men. This fact is sometimes enough to make her want to scream. What Dawn really wants is a miracle. She wants a relationship to be easy, and she wants it to be fast. But relationships don't work that way. At least, not the kind of relationships that work. Many women think like Dawn. They say, he's a man, I'm a woman. We're attracted to each other. Shouldn't the rest be easy? Well, sometimes it is, but just as often that the relationship never gets off the ground, and all that's left is a memory of a bad date, or just a bad moment that ends the possibility of any future dates. Granted, not all relationships are made in heaven. Try as we might, and often we try way too hard, some relationships are simply not meant to be. But what about the many relationships that, given half a chance, could turn into something special? What happens to all those couplings that seem too ripe with potential but fall through the cracks so quickly? What about all those could-be compatible relationships that stall or lose their way moments out of the starting gate? So many promising beginnings come to such abrupt endings. So many potentially great relationships end up on the cutting room floor. Sorry, guys. My eyes. Beginnings are hard when two strangers meet. They have little history to keep them stuck together through thick and thin. One or two steps out of bounds for either party, and everything quickly becomes unglued. When we first meet, very few of us have the foresight or judgment to give each other a real chance. It seems like everyone has a hair trigger. One false step, one wrong move, and one missed cue, and either member of that would be relationship thinks, I'm out of here, and all the potential is history. Women have to be particularly careful about making the wrong kind of quick judgments because often the only men who don't say or do something wrong are the ones who are frightfully skilled at beginnings. These are the professional daters, the ones who make no mistakes. These men always say the right things and always do the right thing, at least at first. The only mistake is yours for being taken in by all of that smoothness. Men often make similar mistakes in the beginning. They are frequently enchanted by women who are fearless about saying and doing the kinds of things that every man wants, and they can turn away from sincere women who are not as practiced and at seduction. Every beginning is richly laced with ritual and fantasy. It's a necessary part of the process, and if there is too great a shortage of either one, the energy tends to fade quite quickly and interest wanes. But as complex, as demanding, and as draining as these beginnings are, they are still just beginnings. And if you are fortunate enough to get a good spin of the dice and advance past the first square, you can be assured that even greater challenges await you. Beginnings are exciting. Beginnings are scary. Beginnings are fun. They are also confusing sometimes, embarrassing, and all too often disappointing. Yet, as difficult as it may be at times, courtship is a process that must be endured by many evolved species, and human beings are no exception. And endure we do. No sooner have you sworn off dating forever and ever and ever and ever that you find yourself once again playing nervously with the ice cubes in your sparkling water as you look into the eyes of a virtual stranger, wondering if maybe, just maybe, this could be the one. It certainly is possible, but maybe this could be something else. Maybe this man will be a new friend. Perhaps even a best friend. Maybe this will be a great guy to introduce to someone else. Maybe this will turn into a terrific business opportunity. Maybe this will be a summer romance. Maybe this will be only a fun date or someone to invite to your parties as a single man. Maybe this will be the one. Who knows? The smartest woman would advise Dawn and others like her that they need to be thinking about ways to create opportunities and open up possibilities. They have to stop thinking about the marriage and babies that could happen in the future and start thinking about the dating and male friendships that could be happening right now. The smartest woman knows the first step in finding a long-term relationship is developing a realistic attitude. Men like women who know the difference between myth and fact. Myth, it was love at first sight. Fact, it was dark in the beginning. You can't always see what you need to see, especially if either one of you is good at camouflage. Myth, it was love at first sight. Fact, it was longing. We all have empty spaces inside that long to be filled, but not every feeling is good for your heart. Myth, it was love at first sight. Fact, it was convenient. You've reached that point in your life when you feel ready to settle down, but just because he is the first one to show up doesn't mean he should automatically get the prize. Myth, it was love at first sight. Fact, it was appropriate. He had all the credentials, but that's all he had. Your parents were thrilled, but it's not their life. You need a relationship, not a resume. Myth, it was love at first sight. Fact, it was lobster. He spent big bucks and it knocked you out. Sometimes it's easier to pay your own way. The smartest woman knows always keep at least 1 foot firmly planted on the ground. Let me see, how many minutes are we at? We're fine. At the beginning of the relationship, the smartest woman knows how to stay awake. When she's getting to know a potential love interest, the smartest woman says, cautious. Just because you care about what men like doesn't mean you should ever forget what you want and need. When you meet a new man, you have no way of knowing, no matter how charming or wonderful he may appear, whether he is truly good for you. So don't fall in love too quickly. Don't fall into bed too quickly, and keep all your self protective antennas in place. Your heart and your life and very precious are very precious. Give them the care they deserve. Consider it. Think about everyone's feelings, his and yours. Think about everyone's insecurities, his and yours. Think about everyone's sensitivities, his and yours. Be kind to him as well as to yourself. Conscious. When it comes to love, too many of us lapse into total illusion, delusion, and fantasy. Sometimes when we think we are falling in love with a person, we're really falling in love with love. Don't let yourself get too swept away from, that you can't tell the difference between love and lust, love and neediness, love and insecurity, love and image issues, love and money issues, love and status issues, or love and loneliness. And then clear. The smartest woman always stays true to her own bottom line. She is who she is, and she doesn't want to behave in ways that compromise her essential self. She also knows that she really needs, and she knows how to present those needs in ways that are both honest and straightforward. The smartest woman knows you don't need a psychic to tell you what's good for you. You just need to pay attention. Myth. All men are jerks. Fact. All men are not jerks. Just like all lifeguards at the beach aren't blonde. It's just the jerks who you always remember. This can go on and on. So we're going to keep going maybe, let me see, maybe about 2.5 pages more because we're at 12 minutes, almost 13 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and read a little bit more, and then we'll go ahead and, just sum it up. What I think. I'm going to go ahead and give you my thoughts on it. The smartest woman knows men like women who don't think that the male of the species is an alien life form. Whether you're getting ready for an evening at home with your husband, a meeting with male coworkers, or an exciting first date, you're not preparing for close encounter with an extraterrestrial. If you're going to build a relationship with a man, you have to know more about him. When you do, you'll discover that most of his likes, dislikes, needs, and wants are similar to yours. So take off the yellow anti-contamination suit, the decoder ring, and the overpriced moon boots. Put down your phaser and try to meet and understand the other sex in a way that makes you feel more like equals than opposites. The smartest woman knows if you think men and women are from different planets, you need a strong telescope. If you think all men are the same, you need a strong microscope. The smartest woman knows men like women who build bridges, not walls. Recently, Ted, 33, went out on a date with a woman named Maria. Ted thought Maria was spectacularly beautiful, and he was very interested in getting to know her better. But the negative comments she kept making about men were so brutal that Ted started to feel annoyed. Another woman might look at Maria and realize that what she wants from the man she's with is reassurance. But Ted didn't hear her vulnerability. All he heard was her hostility. Ted says he is getting fed up with the way women put men down. Lately, he feels as though every woman he meets says something about men that he considers an absolute turnoff. Here are some of these fatal sentences. Okay, guys, you ready for this? I might be a little guilty of that because not that I'm a man hater, because I am married and I love my husband very much, but I have gone through some things and I do think a certain way, but I don't think that all men are like that anymore because my husband has shown me different. And I have, I have a lot of friends who are men that are really great husbands and providers and just great people in general. So I don't think all men are jerks. You know, I don't think that way really, but sometimes I just like to pick on them, but I'm not, I don't really think that way. So anyway, okay. So all men are babies. Men are only interested in sex. Men are only interested in football. Men are only interested in hanging out with their buddies. I'm sorry, guys. Men are more interested in making money than they are in making a family. Men are never Men never listen to what women say. Men don't talk. Men can never talk about their feelings. All men need to be trained. I'm not going to say that all of these things I believe in. They're very close, but let's just keep going before I say something I'm not supposed to. When Ted was younger and a woman he liked made negative generalizations about men, he was inclined to try to prove himself. He wanted her to believe he would be different. Now, when he hears one of these phrases, he goes into immediate withdrawal. He feels that women who use this kind of all-purpose put-downs are themselves somewhat insensitive and shallow. He says that when he thinks about a woman he wants to spend time with, he wants to be sure that she doesn't automatically discount his feelings. As a guy, he recognizes that men are often conditioned to bury their pain and hurt. However, that's not really how he wants to live the rest of his life. He wants a partner who is sensitive to that and understands that men have feelings too. If you want to make generalizations about men, try some of these. You get nervous and he does too. You have goals and he does too. You have dreams and he does too. You have flaws and he does too. You have needs and he does too. You get hurt and he does too. You have a personal history and he does too. You want to be understood and he does too. You want to be loved and he does too. The smartest woman knows negative male stereotypes are not constructive, not unless you're trying to construct obstacles to intimacy. Men like women who know the difference between the man who plays tennis and the man who lives for tennis, the man who likes cars and the man who treats his car like a bride, the man who enjoys his work and the man who doesn't enjoy anything else, the man who owns a baseball glove and the man who sleeps at the ballpark, the man who watches football and the man who wants to decorate the house with AstroTurf, the man she's with, and every other Tom, Dick, and Harry. Okay, guys, I think I'm just going to go ahead and leave it there for right now. I'm going to go ahead and mark this page because we left off on page 24, only because this is a pretty long book and it doesn't have any separations. I don't think it goes into chapter 2 or anything like that. It just keeps going. So I'm going to go ahead and end it there because we're already going to be at 19 minutes. So yeah. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this book or this section that I read to you. I thought it was pretty funny because I'm guilty of actually saying some of those things. Well, at least I used to be, because I was hurt a lot and I, feel that, I felt at the time that men were like that, but I have changed my way of thinking and I feel like I've become a smarter woman with time. And I feel that I married a person who treats me the way I want to be treated. So that's probably the reason why I kind of changed my mind about certain things. But yeah, you do need to be a smart woman and you do need to think, you can't rush things. It takes time to get to know a person and it takes time to actually build a relationship. And the only way you're going to actually figure out if this person is right for you is if you got to give it time. I mean, like for me and my husband, I mean, we dated for like 4 years. So we wanted to get married earlier, but for whatever reason, we couldn't. And I'm glad that it worked out that way because the Lord knew what he was doing. I think that we were able to get to know each other way more, and it felt like it was the right thing to do. And because it took us a long time to actually get married, I think we treasure it so much more. We don't throw in the towel as quickly. So, but I mean, I agree with the book. I mean, men want to be loved too, and so do we. You know, men have their insecurities, and you know, so do we. And I agree with a lot of the things. The men are a lot alike. We're a lot alike with men. You know, they want the same things we do. You know, we just probably express them different, or we just, you know, maybe we don't communicate it the way, you know, maybe he wouldn't communicate the way I would communicate, you know. But we're a lot alike in many things. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and leave you with that. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you enjoyed listening to it, and hopefully you learned something from it. And comment down below what was your favorite part of the book. And yeah, I'll go ahead and read some more later. Just remember the page number that we read. And yeah, thanks so much for watching. I will be linking down on the description box other uploads of other books that I read. And yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. Bye.